Every great achievement, every world-changing idea, every success story that has ever inspired generations, it all started as a dream. But here's the truth. Most people never chase their dreams. Most people let their dreams die before they even begin. Why? Because they think their dreams are too big, because they believe they are not enough, because they get discouraged before they even take the first step. But hear this loud and clear. If God put a dream in your heart, it's because He intended for you to live it out. Your dreams are not random. Your desires are not accidental. The vision inside of you was placed there by God Himself. The Bible says in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That means if you have a vision, if you have a calling, if something inside of you burns with passion, it is because God designed you for it. But the real question is, are you going to let fear steal your dream? Are you going to sit back waiting for the perfect moment while life passes you by? Or are you going to rise up and go after what God has placed inside of you? Because I'm here to tell you, you have a choice. You can either let fear, doubt, and excuses keep you stuck, or you can take a step of faith and move forward. And if you're going to step into the life you were created for, then here's what you need to do. Dream big. Start small. Improve every single day. It all begins with a dream. Not just any dream, but a vision for your life that is bigger than what you can see right now. Everything starts in the mind. If you don't have a vision, you will drift through life aimlessly, settling for less than what you were made for. Proverbs 29:18 says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." That means if you don't see where you're going, you will never get there. And that's exactly why so many people give up before they even begin. They let fear talk them out of their future. They let past failures tell them they can't succeed. They let people's opinions dictate what is possible. But hear this, your dreams are valid. Your dreams matter because God gave them to you. And if He gave them to you, it means He has also given you everything you need to walk them out. But the problem is, most people don't even let themselves dream anymore. They let life beat them down. They let fear shrink their vision. They start believing that playing it safe is better than taking a risk. But let me ask you something. When did you stop dreaming? When did you start believing that your future wasn't worth fighting for? When did you let fear steal what God was calling you to build? It's time to take it back. It's time to dream big again. Because if you only dream small, you will never push past your limitations. If you only dream small, you will never step into your full potential. If you only dream small, you will never experience the life God has waiting for you. Look at history. Every great success started with a dream that seemed impossible at the time. The Wright brothers dreamed of flying when no one thought it could be done. Thomas Edison dreamed of lighting up the world when people called him crazy. David stood before Goliath when everyone else was afraid. Joseph had a dream of leadership when he was still in a pit. But guess what? They believed. They fought through every obstacle. They refused to let failure define them. And they saw their dreams come to life. And if they could do it, why not you? Maybe you're sitting there thinking, but what if I fail? But I'm going to ask you a better question. What if you win? What if you stop living in the shadow of fear and actually step into the life you were created for? What if the very thing you are afraid of is the doorway to your biggest breakthrough? Hear me. Fear is a lie. Fear tells you to stay small. Fear tells you to stay where it's safe. But faith says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Faith says nothing is impossible for those who believe. Faith says with God all things are possible. So let me ask you again, what if you win? What if you dare to believe that God has more for you than what you're settling for right now? What if today is the day you decide to go after what God has called you to build? But here's the secret. Dreaming big isn't enough. Because a dream without action is just a wish. And wishes don't change the world. People who take action do. That's why you have to start small. Because the secret to success isn't about doing everything at once. It's about taking consistent steps in the right direction. Most people fail because they try to do too much too fast. They want results overnight. They want success without struggle. They want progress without patience. But hear this, the key to success is not speed, it's consistency. You don't have to take giant leaps. You don't have to know every step of the journey. You just have to take the next step. Because every small step, every little effort, every act of faith, it all adds up. Think about a tree. If you keep swinging the axe, even if it's just a little every day, eventually the tree will fall. That is how success is built. That is how dreams come to life. Small, consistent actions over time. Zechariah 4:10 says, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." And that means God is not waiting for you to have it all figured out. He just wants you to start. So let me ask you, what small step can you take today? Maybe it's writing the first page of that book. Maybe it's making one phone call. Maybe it's spending 10 minutes a day learning something new. Maybe it's simply choosing to believe that your dream is worth pursuing. Whatever it is, take the step. Stop waiting. Start now. Because when you start small, you build momentum. And when you build momentum, you begin to improve every single day. And that is the real secret. Growth is the key to success. If you want to change your life, change your habits, because winners don't just show up once in a while. Winners do consistently what others do occasionally. The people who win are not the people who have the most talent. They are the ones who stay consistent. They are the ones who show up day after day, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching, even when no one believes in them, because they know greatness is not a destination. It is a daily choice. So let me ask you one last time. Are you ready to choose greatness? Are you ready to take the first step? Are you ready to dream big, start small, and improve every single day? Because your future is waiting for you, but you have to move. Success doesn't happen overnight. Dreams don't turn into reality in an instant. And that's where most people get it wrong. They think if they don't see results immediately, it means they've failed. They think if they don't have everything figured out, they shouldn't even start. But hear this, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Every dream, no matter how big, begins with a single step. That's why you have to start small. Too many people sit back waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until they feel ready, waiting until everything is lined up just right. But the truth is, the perfect moment will never come. There will always be a reason to wait, always an excuse to hold back, always a voice in your head telling you that you're not ready. But the difference between people who succeed and people who don't is that successful people start, even when it's messy, even when it's scary, even when they don't feel ready. Think about it. How do you climb a mountain? Do you take one massive leap to the top? No! You take it one step at a time. How do you finish a marathon? Do you sprint the whole way? No. You take it one stride at a time. How do you build anything meaningful in life? By showing up and doing the work little by little every single day. That's how progress is made. That's how lives are changed. That's how dreams become reality. The Bible says in Zechariah 4:10, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." Did you catch that? God rejoices to see you start. He is not waiting for you to be perfect. He is not expecting you to have it all figured out. He just wants you to begin, because he knows that once you take that first step, momentum will start to build. Once you start moving, things will start falling into place. Once you start trusting, doors will begin to open, but nothing happens until you start. Most people don't fail because their dreams are too big. They fail because they never take the first step. They get overwhelmed by how far they have to go instead of just focusing on taking one step forward. But hear this, Small steps lead to big breakthroughs. Every great success story you have ever heard started with someone taking a small, seemingly insignificant step. Amazon started in a garage. Apple started with two guys building computers in their basement. David didn't defeat Goliath in a single blow. He spent years learning to fight lions and bears when no one was watching. Every champion, every leader, every history maker, they all started small. And if they had waited until they were ready, they would have never started at all. So let me ask you, what small step can you take today? Stop overthinking it. Stop making excuses. Stop telling yourself that it has to be perfect. It doesn't. Progress is always better than perfection, because perfection will paralyze you. Perfection will keep you stuck. Perfection will rob you of your destiny. So today, make a decision. Maybe it's writing the first page of that book you've been thinking about for years. Maybe it's making one phone call that could change your future. Maybe it's spending just 10 minutes a day learning something new. Whatever it is, take the step, because the secret to success is not in making one big, life-changing move. It's in showing up and doing the small things day after day with consistency and faithfulness. Think of it like planting a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't see results right away. You don't wake up the next morning to a fully grown tree. But just because you don't see growth doesn't mean nothing is happening. Beneath the surface, roots are taking hold. Life is forming. The process is working. And if you keep watering that seed, if you keep showing up, if you keep doing the work, one day that seed will grow into something great. But only if you don't give up, only if you don't quit. Only if you trust that the process is leading you somewhere greater. The Bible teaches us that faithfulness in small things leads to greater things. Luke 16:10 says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." So right now, whatever season you're in, whatever step you're afraid to take, just start, just begin, just do the next right thing. Because it doesn't matter how small the step is, it matters that you take it. So what will you do today? Will you keep waiting, or will you take action because your dream is waiting for you, but you have to move? Wow, success is not a one-time event. It is not about one big breakthrough, one major opportunity, or one defining moment. Success is built in the small daily choices that most people ignore. The truth is, winners do consistently what losers do occasionally. The people who succeed in life are not necessarily the most talented. They are not necessarily the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. The people who succeed are the ones who show up every single day, even when it's hard, even when they don't feel like it, even when no one is watching. They understand that what they do in private determines what they will become in public. They know that every small action, every repeated effort, every disciplined habit is leading them towards something greater. Because here's the truth. Your daily routine determines your future. What you do today shapes who you become tomorrow. What you practice in secret is what will be revealed in the open. So if you don't like where you're headed, change your habits. Most people fail, not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, full of passion and excitement, but the moment things get difficult, they quit. They let their emotions dictate their actions. They let distractions pull them away from their purpose. But hear this, consistency creates success. You don't wake up one day and suddenly become great. You become great by being faithful in the small things, by committing to the process, by refusing to take shortcuts. Luke 16:10 says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." That means if you want big opportunities, you have to be faithful in the small ones first. If you want to step into the next level, you have to prove that you are willing to work where you are right now. And that's the real test. Will you stay faithful even when no one is watching? Will you keep going even when it feels like nothing is changing? Because most people won't. Most people give up too soon. Most people expect instant results and walk away when they don't get them. But the ones who succeed, they keep going. They show up. They put in the work. And that's why they win. Look at Joseph. Before he became a ruler, he was a prisoner. Before he was in charge, he was a servant. But he didn't complain about his situation. He didn't sit around waiting for the perfect moment. He was faithful right where he was. He gave his best in every season, no matter how unfair, no matter how difficult. And because of that, God promoted him. What if Joseph had given up? What if he had refused to work in the prison because it wasn't where he wanted to be? He would have never stepped into his destiny. And the same is true for you. Your destiny is on the other side of your faithfulness. So right now, wherever you are, whatever season you're in, make a decision to show up. Be faithful. Keep improving every single day, because your consistency is leading you toward your breakthrough. But the biggest thing that stops people from staying consistent isn't a lack of motivation. It's fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish, fear of stepping out and realizing they weren't as ready as they thought. And that's why so many people stay stuck. They let fear control their choices instead of faith. But hear me, fear is a lie. Fear is not from God. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." That means every time fear tries to talk you out of your dreams, you have the authority to rebuke it. Every time doubt tries to tell you that you're not enough, you have the power to declare that God is enough. Fear will tell you to play it safe. Faith will tell you to step out. Fear will tell you to wait for the perfect moment. Faith will tell you to trust God and move forward now. So the question is, are you going to let fear win, or are you going to choose faith? People spend their whole lives letting fear make their decisions. They don't go after their dreams because they're afraid they might fail. They don't start the business because they're afraid of what people will say. They don't write the book because they're afraid no one will read it. But let me ask you something. Would you rather live with the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? Because one way or another, there will be pain. The pain of pushing through, of staying committed, of showing up even when it's hard. Or the pain of looking back one day and realizing you wasted your life, that you let fear hold you back, that you never became the person you were created to be. Regret lasts forever. But discipline, it's temporary, and that's why you have to make a choice. Will you give more time to your dreams or to your fears? Will you invest more energy in your growth or in your excuses? Because you can't do both. The enemy wants you to stay stuck. He wants you to believe that you're not good enough, that you're not ready, that you should wait for a better time. But hear this. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. There will always be a reason to delay. There will always be an excuse to wait. But faith doesn't wait. Faith moves. Faith says, I don't have all the answers, but I trust that God will lead me. Faith says, I may not feel ready, but I know God is with me. Faith says, I don't need all the details. I just need to take the next step. So let me ask you, what has fear been holding you back from? What have you been putting off because you're afraid you might fail? Because here's the truth. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is part of the process. Failure is what teaches you. Failure is what prepares you. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't is that successful people fail forward. They don't let failure stop them. They learn from it. They grow from it. They get back up and keep going. So if you're afraid of failing good, that means you're stepping out of your comfort zone. That means you're moving towards something greater. That means you're on the right path. But hear me, you have to keep going. Anybody can start. Few people finish. The real difference between winners and losers, winners keep going when it gets hard, when the excitement fades, when the motivation runs out, when the doubts creep in. That's the test. Will you keep pushing? Will you stay committed even when you don't see the results right away? Galatians 6:9 says, do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. Did you hear that? If you do not give up, that means the only way you lose is if you quit. That means the breakthrough is coming, the reward is on the way, but you have to stay consistent. Because at the end of the day, success is not about talent. It's not about luck, it's about who shows up long enough to see the harvest. So today, make a decision. Are you going to let fear stop you? Are you going to let inconsistency keep you from your destiny? Or are you going to rise up, step forward, and commit to the process because your future is waiting for you? Your dream is waiting for you. But you have to move. You have to choose faith over fear. You have to keep going even when it's hard, because the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret, that lasts forever. So don't quit. Don't stop. Keep moving forward, because the breakthrough is coming, and it's closer than you think. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or resources. It's consistency. Success doesn't belong to the most gifted. It belongs to the ones who keep going, even when it's hard, even when no one believes in them, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Anybody can start. Few people finish. Most people get excited in the beginning. They start with passion, full of energy and motivation. But the moment things get difficult, the moment they don't see immediate results, the moment obstacles appear, they quit. But hear this, the only way you lose is if you quit. The ones who win are the ones who keep showing up. They keep swinging the axe even when the tree doesn't fall immediately. They keep putting in the work even when the results aren't instant. They stay faithful when no one is watching. They stay disciplined when no one is clapping. They keep moving forward because they know God rewards faithfulness. That means the breakthrough isn't for those who try once and walk away. The breakthrough is for those who persist, for those who stay in the fight, for those who refuse to quit. Every champion, every leader, every world changer, they all had moments when they wanted to give up, but they pushed through. They stayed in the game. They understood that great things take time, that success is a process, that the reward is coming if they just keep going. And if they could do it, why not you? The enemy wants you to quit. He wants you to get discouraged. He wants you to believe that your effort isn't making a difference. But listen, God sees every sacrifice. He sees every small step. He sees every late night, every early morning, every moment when you chose to keep going instead of giving up. And He is faithful to reward those who remain steadfast. The question is, will you keep going even when it's hard? Will you keep working even when you don't see the progress yet? Will you trust that the seeds you are planting today will produce a harvest in due season? Because too many people quit right before the breakthrough comes. They stop digging just inches away from striking gold. They stop believing just before the promise is fulfilled. They stop pushing forward just before everything shifts in their favor. But not you. You are not going to quit. You are not going to walk away from what God has called you to. You are not going to settle for less when God has more in store for you. Staying consistent doesn't mean you will always feel motivated. It doesn't mean you will always feel strong. It means you show up anyway. It means you choose discipline over feelings. It means you stay committed to the process, trusting that God is working even when you can't see it yet. Because here's the truth. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. One day, you will look back, and you will either be glad that you stayed consistent, or you will wish that you had. One day, you will either reap the harvest of your faithfulness, or you will wonder what could have been if only you had kept going. So decide today, what story do you want to tell? Do you want to be the person who almost made it? Or do you want to be the person who kept pushing until the doors finally opened? Your future is being shaped by the choices you make today. Not someday, not when you feel ready, today. Will you wake up and fight for your dream? Will you put in the effort when no one is watching? Will you trust that God's timing is perfect and that He will bring everything together if you just keep moving forward? Because success is not about one big moment. It is about staying faithful when it would be easier to quit. It is about trusting the process when everything in you wants to walk away. It is about choosing to show up day after day, believing that the reward is coming. Because it is. God has already planned the harvest. He has already prepared the breakthrough. He has already opened the doors, but you have to keep walking toward them. You have to keep taking the steps. You have to keep pressing in. So don't stop now. Don't slow down. Don't quit. Your breakthrough is coming, and it is closer than you think. Your future is waiting for you, but you have to move. Nothing will change if you stay where you are. Nothing will happen if you keep waiting for the perfect moment. Nothing will shift if you keep letting fear, doubt, and excuses hold you back. The life you were created for, the purpose God placed inside of you, the dream that has been burning in your heart, it is still possible, but you have to make the decision to step into it. No one else can do it for you. No one else can fight for your future. No one else can chase your dream. The responsibility is yours. The choice is yours. You don't need to know every step. You just need to take the next step. Every great success story started with one moment of decision. One moment where someone said, "Enough is enough. I refuse to stay stuck. I refuse to let fear win. I refuse to settle for less than what God has for me." And that moment changed everything. This is your moment. Right here, right now. This is the moment where you decide that you will no longer wait, that you will no longer hesitate, that you will no longer shrink back in fear. This is the moment where you declare, "I will dream big, I will start small, I will improve every single day." Philippians 1:6 says, "Being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." That means what God started in you, he will finish. And the dream in your heart is not a mistake. The vision inside of you is not random. It is part of God's divine plan for your life, and he is faithful to complete it. But you have to do your part. You have to take action. You have to stay consistent. You have to keep trusting when you don't see results yet. Because the breakthrough is coming, the open doors are coming, the reward is coming. And when it does, you will look back and know every step was worth it. Every sacrifice mattered. Every moment of discipline led you here. So don't hold back. Don't wait another day. Don't let another moment pass by without making the decision to go all in. Because this is your time. This is your season. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more wishing. It's time to rise up, step forward, and chase after everything God has called you to do. Dream big, start small, never stop growing. Your future is calling. Will you answer?